everyone, my name is Molly and today we are here to talk about my October wrap-up and my November TBR. So in the month of October, my life was pretty much a mess. I was all over the place. I was doing so many different things, much like September. And so I only managed to read 2 books. Both of them were actually for book clubs, funny enough, but I only managed to read 2. That's very disappointing. I wanted to read more, but like I said, I was all over the place, and I also started binging a few shows on Netflix, so you know what that does to us readers. And then I was reading fan fiction. You know how we get in those moods sometimes. So it was just a mess and not a very good reading month, but I'm hoping November will be different. I'm in the mood to read. I've already finished 1 book, so I'm hoping that this spark will continue throughout the month. November is another busy month, so who knows what's gonna happen. So, without further ado, let's get into the books that I read in the month of October. So the first book I managed to read in the month of October was They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. This was actually our Diversity Readers Book Club Book of the Month, and if you're interested in any information about that, I will leave our Instagram page and everything linked down below. We actually already had our live show for this book, so if you're interested, that will also be linked down below. We go very in-depth and we take some questions from the audience and things like that. It was a whole lot of fun. I was very happy to be a part of it, and so yeah, if you're interested, again, will be linked down below. They Both Die at the End, I really enjoyed. Adam did it again. He broke my heart. He's very good at doing that. This is the second Adam Silvera book I've read. I only read More Happy Than Not, and then I read this one. I still haven't read History yet, but hopefully I will get to it soon. This book was very good. I really liked the world, and I found it very interesting how Adam took the story and played with it. He had 2 main characters' point of views, but he also had a bunch of minor characters and their lives, and it wasn't too much that it was like crazy. It was just enough that it enriched the story a lot more, and so I found that very interesting. It was one of my favorite parts of this book, and I just really enjoyed it. So They Both Die at the End, like I said, follows 2 main characters. Both are boys. They live in a world where when you are born, you also have a death date. So on the day of your death, you get a call that's like, hey, I don't know how and I don't know when, but in the next 24 hours, you are going to die. And so there is this app that has been created for people that have gotten the call, and it's called the Last Friend app. And so it's basically just like a last-ditch effort to meet people and to try to live your last day to the fullest you possibly can. So both the boys in this book, because of their different situations, end up on the Last Friend app, and they meet in real life and they become really close friends and maybe something more, and it's just really great. I think it's very hard to write a book that takes place in a day, but Adam did a very good job, so I definitely recommend this book for you guys. It's really good. The final book I read in the month of October was a book for my school book club, and that was Sold. Now, Sold was a very heavy book. It involved very heavy topics and was not something I would normally pick up for myself. It is about a 12-year-old girl who lives in, I believe it's like the Middle East area, and she gets sold into sex slavery. I really liked the writing style that was used. It was almost told in like a poetry format. Like, it wasn't rhyming poetry or anything, but the chapters were basically like poems. It made the book go by really fast, but I didn't feel like I missed any of the story. The only thing that could have helped was maybe a little bit more detail, maybe adding to her story, her personal story a little bit more to help us connect to her a little bit more, because it was a very fast-paced book, and so we didn't really get to connect with the character all that much. It's, like I said, a very heavy book. I mean, she's 12 years old and she's in sex slavery. Like, that's obviously going to be a heavy topic, and I would not normally pick up this book for myself. It's not my cup of tea. I don't usually enjoy reading about things like that, but it was a very eye-opening book, and I think it's important that people read books like this every once in a while, so I'm happy that I did get the opportunity to read it. So, those are the books I read in the month of October. Let's talk about the books I want to read in the month of November. The first book I have on this list I actually already finished, but I had to show it to you guys, and that is Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. Turtles is our Diversity Readers Book Club Book of the Month this month. So if you guys are interested in reading along with us, make sure to do that. All the information for the live show will be down below, so make sure to try to catch that if you can and send in your questions and everything fun like that. Turtles All the Way Down is John Green's new release. I'm sure all of you have heard about it. I've already finished it and it's just so amazing. I'll go more in depth in the live show and in my wrap up next month, but just know it's really good. Highly recommend. Turtles, for those of you who don't know, is about a girl who suffers from OCD and anxiety, and so it's about her struggles through everyday life, and it's also about her and her best friend, and this billionaire in their town goes missing, and so they decide to try to solve the mystery so they can get the reward, which is like $100,000, and they go on a journey throughout this book, and it's just amazing. The next book I have on this list is 1984 by George Orwell. This is our book club book in school, so I have to read it this month. And I'm actually really excited too because this is one of the few classics that I actually was really interested in and really wanted to read, and I've had it on my shelf for a while, and now I finally have an excuse to read it. I'm not usually a huge fan of classics, so I'll be interested to see if I actually do like this one or if it is like most of the other classics I've read. From what I understand, this is about a dystopian society where there is basically like this big brother, the government, knows everything you do, watches you at all times, and the effects of that happening. So I'm very interested in this and I can't wait to read it. The next book on my TBR is Release by Patrick Ness. Now I believe this is on my TBR last month and I just never got the chance to finish it. I did start it though, and I am on page 61, and it was really good, but I just never got the chance to finish reading it, so hopefully I will be able to do that this month. It is another book that spans over the course of one day, and it's about a closeted gay boy who lives in a very religious family, and it's very hard for him to find somebody and have a relationship and deal with his friendships, and there's also a ghost involved, and that's really all I can tell you. I don't really know how to describe this book. You're just gonna have to read it and see. The final book I have on my TBR is a very, very exciting book for me, and that is The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. Now this is an ARC. It doesn't come out till January 18th, which is 3 days after my birthday, but my friend Shannon, thank you very much, got an ARC of The Cruel Prince and she read it and she loved it, and then she's making me read it, but I'm very excited too. I started it, but I'm only on page 17. But it's really interesting from what I've heard so far. I haven't read a Holly Black book yet, but I've heard amazing things and I'm really excited for it. I know this book is about fairies and that's pretty much all I know, so it's gonna be fun. So those are all the books that I read in the month of October and all the books I plan to read in the month of November. Let me know what your favorite read of the past month was and what your most anticipated read of the next month is. If you guys are interested, I also do episode talks, if you guys haven't seen, for a bunch of different shows. I wish you guys good luck with your monthly TBR. Don't forget to check out our live stream for Turtles All the Way Down. Like I said, more information will be down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I try to upload a video every week. If you like my videos, then subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye!